Okay, this webinar is about how non-IT people can join in IT job in Canada. Okay, so in Canada, getting an IT job is easy both for IT people and also for non-IT people. IT people might have a prior IT education and prior IT experience, but non-IT people unfortunately might not be having prior IT experience and prior IT education, or sometimes even if the candidates has prior IT education, they might not have prior IT experience. So all these people fit into this criteria. So since getting in Canada, what happens is the companies doesn't bother whether you have an IT education in the past or not, even if you are from pharmacy background or from a medical background or a physiotherapy background or a mechanical engineer or a chemical engineer or an aeronautical engineer, whatever might be your education in the past, it is not going to be a roadblock for your IT job. All that the Canadian companies look for is if you have a bachelor's degree or not. That's all they are going to look at it. Because for any IT job, the minimum qualification that they set is bachelor's degree. It can be in anything. It can be BTech, computer science. It can be BTech, um, chemical engineering or mechanical engineering, or it can be bachelor's of dental sciences. It can be an MBBS, or it can be physiotherapist, or it can be, as I told you, a shipping engineer. It can be anything as long as you have either 3 years or 4 years bachelor's degree. That is all what they are looking for. So do not think that to get an IT job, you need to have an IT education in the past. I think this is one point we need to make it very clear. I hope you all got it. The second thing is, to get an IT job, it is not mandatory to have an IT experience in the past. Okay. So even if you have zero experience, you can still get an IT job, but you will get at a junior level or at a fresher level. But if you have a prior IT experience, then getting a job currently is going to be quite faster, or you might be able to get the roles like intermediate level or a senior level. So the assumption that to get an IT job in Canada, you need to have a prior IT experience is also wrong. Okay, so this also I want everybody to clearly understand. You don't need an IT education and you don't need an IT experience in the past. And the third one is based on the strengths and weaknesses of the candidate, the correct role to which they are targeting should be identified. This is where 99% of the people go wrong. For example, um, if a person is from, let's say, a pharmacology background, then if the person thinks that they can go for a Java developer role, then it might not be a right choice. So here, in this case, identifying a right role that you should be targeting should be the primary, goal of the candidate. So for this, you have to do research, you have to talk to experts, you have to talk to somebody who is quite experienced in the field. So you have to do a lot of homework to see what is the right IT role that you can go for, because not all IT roles would fit for everybody. Each person's profile is different, each person's learning ability is different, each person's passions are different, each person's strengths and weaknesses are different. So one role which is a right fit for one candidate might not be a right fit for the another candidate. So you need to assess a lot of factors and take them into consideration before finalizing the right IT role for your future IT job search. So this is point number 3. Okay, and number 4, when once the IT role is identified after talking to experts or experienced people or career coaches like me, let's assume you have come up with an IT role and you are targeting some XYZ role. When that is targeted, then the fourth thing that you need to do is you need to get professionally trained in the technology or in that role. A role might need some 3 to 4 technologies, some 3 to 4 tools, or some X number of services that you should be quite familiar with and hands on with. So you have to identify what are all the technologies, tools, and services that need to be acquainted with or hands on with to become successful in that role. So those services, tools, and technologies, you should get professional training. This is also one place where people go wrong. People think that they can learn everything by their own. It is not impossible, but it is always advisable to take professional training. Professional training meaning a well experienced tutor teaching you the subject, the technology, or the tool, or the service. So, and you take the training and you become acquainted with that and you do a lot of practice with that. So, don't go for self learning, always take professional training. Okay, when once you take professional training, then you need to, based on how well you trained, you need to get your resume written professionally as per Canadian standards. Again, to write the resume, you can write on your own. You can refer to some of the resumes of your friends, or you can take the help of career coaches like me, or you can take the help of your colleagues who are in a similar job. There are so many ways you can get your resume done. Okay, get your resume done, and then based on your resume, get your LinkedIn also done professionally, because LinkedIn is going to be the face of your resume when it comes to the professional community. Okay, so when once your resume and LinkedIn is done, then as a non-IT person, you need to religiously make sure you apply for jobs every day without missing at least one day. Every day you have to make it a point to apply for jobs. My suggestion would be apply not less than 10 jobs per day. More than 10 is also fine, but definitely not less than 10. Apply for 10 jobs per day, and then you will be able to see lots of calls coming in, lots of emails coming in from the recruiters and the HRs. And in the next few weeks, you'll be able to get lots of interviews also scheduled. So when once you start attending those interviews, then as a non-IT person, you will obviously fail in the first few interviews, but you will try to learn by your own, and then you will be able to get the IT job pretty fine. So these are some of the um, bullet points. I will also summarize again that a typical non-IT person should figure out or do them or implement them to become successful in getting an IT job. Again, just to summarize, number one, you need not have to have an IT education. All you need to do is you just need to have a bachelor's education in any field. Number two, you need not have to have a past IT experience. Even with zero experience, you can still get an IT job as a fresher or at a junior level. Number three, identifying the right IT role is going to be the deciding factor of your success in getting an IT job. Number four, when once the IT role is identified, you have to get your resume done either by yourself or taking the help of anybody who is quite experienced with, and then get your LinkedIn also done, and then start applying for jobs, not less than 10 per day. You will be easily able to get lots of job postings posted in LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Indeed, Monster, Job Bank. There are so many websites that are available where you can apply for jobs. So apply for jobs not less than 10 per day, and you will see the magic happening. You will get lots of emails, you'll get lots of calls on your phone from the recruiters and HRs, and you will get interviews also scheduled. And now the ball is in your court to prepare well for the interview, attend and crack it. Don't worry if you are not able to clear the first few interviews. It is pretty normal. All you need to do is just learn from wherever you went wrong, and then try to not to repeat those mistakes in the future interviews. And as you keep attending more and more interviews, you will eventually be land in a job. Okay, so these are some of the uh, you know you can call it tips, tricks, or you can call it bullet points, whatever you can call it. These are some of the factors that you should consider when you are searching for, when you are a non-IT person but searching for an IT job. Now I will give few minutes of time for you to ask me questions related to this. Anybody has any question?
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Actually, I
Yeah.
just wanted to just ask, like, I have a bachelor degree in business of, Bachelor of Business Administration in
Mm-hmm.
the field of marketing. My specialty was marketing. So, is
Okay.
there like any job? Is there any job in the IT like which is specifically related, which is not technical, but a little managerial on a fresher, like on a fresher basis?
For your
Is there
profile, if you have very very good communication skills, like very
yeah?
fluent in English, very fluent in the way you communicate with the people. If you have very good
Yeah.
communication skills, then based on whatever you mentioned, going for a project coordinator role or a project assistant role would be a right choice.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir, because I do have it. Because the thing is, I work in A&W restaurant right now,
Mm-hmm,
and my main work is front assistant, like to assist the front, all taking orders and all, and doing the inventories and the things, right?
mm-hmm,
So I'm basically into customer management and customer services and uh, their solving their issues, right? So I'm
mm-hmm,
very fond with it, and like it has been more than 1 year to me doing that same thing. And while I was in India, back in India, I used to my own business, right, with my
mm-hmm,
family business. Because of
mm-hmm,
that, I do have that business development mind. So yeah, for like I'm more into sales and marketing.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, but for
yeah,
sales and marketing, there are no IT jobs. We are
yeah.
talking
I got
about
it. Like, but
IT jobs, right? So all the best you
yeah,
can do is go for sales and marketing in IT. For
yeah, right,
example,
exactly.
if there is a IT company, obviously they might be looking for projects. So you can join that company as a business development executive. But you need to exhibit your IT knowledge to them. Uh, so cracking the interview and with them, and getting the job as a sales and marketing or a business development executive would happen. But since in this webinar we are discussing only about IT jobs, so the nearest IT
Yeah,
job which I have suggested you is a project coordinator or a project
project
assistant, which
coordinator,
are hardcore
project
IT.
assistant. Yeah, yeah,
Okay, there was one
I got it.
question posted by Shraddha. I have 4 years of experience in banking, mortgage industry as mortgage underwriter. What IT job would suit my role? Okay, hi Shraddha. So Shraddha, since you have very good experience with banking and mortgage industry, uh, assuming you have very good communication skills, then the best IT role
Yes,
that you can take is a business analyst. For a business
okay.
analyst, domain
So,
knowledge is utmost important. Yeah, Shraddha, you're talking
so
something.
do you need to do some certification?
No, you don't need to do any certification. All you need to do is just take care of revise your banking and mortgage concepts, meaning credit concepts, and then learn some of the
Hmm.
topics related to business analysis. That's it. Certification is not mandatory to become a
Okay.
BA. If you do it, it's not going to be of waste. You will psychologically get a lot of confidence, but nobody is going to ask you for any BA level certification.
Yeah, and
But if you
while
have
I'm in
the,
India, can I get a job in Canada?
it depends on what status you are in.
Okay. Thank you.
So, Sona Yama, I have 8 years experience in testing from Tech Mahindra in India, but I have 3 years gap from 2019 to 2022. Okay, no, it it is not hard since you have a solid 8 years of experience in testing Sona. I think you will have a very high chance of getting a very good testing role in Canada. Since you are already a PR, that is always going to be an added advantage. But since you said you have gap, then what you have to do is you need to frame a story on how to justify your gap. Uh, um, since you are female, then the standard reason what you can give for that gap is you can say that you are on maternity leave during that time.
Hello. Actually, my reason that I have a gap is like I want to travel in the time. That's the reason. 2019, I resigned my job and I did not get my visa done because of COVID.
Hmm.
So that came postponed and till long. And I have a kid, so I didn't rejoin in India. So that is the reason I have a gap.
Yeah,
This reason
that
will be
can be,
sufficient.
no, yeah, that might be a valid reason, but the
Mm.
standard and very good reason can be there was a gap because you had kids during that time. That is a standard answer
Oh,
you can tell. Nobody is
okay,
going to question you back when once you tell this answer. But if you
okay.
tell,
Thank you.
oh, I was waiting for my PR to arrive because of COVID, it got delayed. If you tell all those story, it might be
Mm,
real, but if you tell all those
mm.
things, then you will end up in getting cross examination by them. But
Okay,
if you tell the answer as during that time I had my kids, so which is why I had to take a break, then nobody is going to ask any question back to you.
okay. Thank you.
Maternity reason is one of the strongest reason you can tell whether it
Okay,
is real or unreal to justify your
okay,
gap, especially for married females.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Then don't tell the recruiters about the COVID or about the delay in your PR. Don't tell all those things. Just tell them during that time I had my kids born, so I was taking care of the kids. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So Shakti, do you have any other question? Your hand is still raised.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, tell me.
Uh, yeah, sir. Actually, like after I completed my like post graduate diplomas from here,
Hmm.
I was not knowing about the business analyst course, but later on when I got to know, I was thinking of doing that, but on a professional basis.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the participants in the member talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just got a question in mind, like if I want to do that IT job, right? So Should I get a business analyst some course of like 6 months or something professionally, or like how should I do it?
Okay, again, for you, I don't suggest business analysis because
Hmm.
you might not have domain knowledge.
Okay.
Okay, one should go for business analyst role only if there is a domain knowledge. It can be anything. It can be a domain knowledge in supply chain, or it can be a domain knowledge in banking or insurance or finance or healthcare or credit industry. It can be anything. Only if you have only if you have domain knowledge, go for a BA role. Okay, that is point number one. Point number two, for your continuation of your answer, yes,
Hmm.
go for professional training. I think for a typical BA role, you might need to professionally get trained for about 2 to 3 months of time. So go for a professional
Okay.
training. The professional will be able to teach you the nuances of business analysis, any tools used, any specific topics that are pretty much important for as a BA to succeed in the job. Get the professional
Yeah.
training done. And if there is a
Yeah. And then,
possibility, yeah, go ahead.
yeah. Yeah. So, sir, then I think that if whatever you told, like get 2 to 3 months of professional training certificates and all, right?
Hmm.
So then I would be definitely having an upper hand while applying jobs, right?
While applying jobs, you won't get upper hand. You will get upper hand
Yeah.
when you are talking to the recruiters. For
Yeah.
example,
For
when
sure.
you,
Yeah.
yeah, so when
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah. Please
talk to the
continue, sir.
recruiters, if you are able to answer each and every question well, then they will have
Mhm.
confidence that you are a right fit for the role, and then they will set up technical interviews.
Because actually, sir, what happened is like in our BBA, we do have a business analyst option as well.
Hmm.
We do have it, but the thing was when I was applying for my second course in Canada, I did my first course like in global business management. But when I was applying for the second course, I didn't got the business analyst because it's there are there are very less colleges which gives that, and their seats were already full at the time due to COVID and all. So that's why I was not able to get a seat in professional PGWP in business analyst. So
That's
that's
okay. I mean, to become a
yeah.
BA, you don't necessarily need to have done a BA course in your PG. It is not
Okay.
needed. Even if you have done your BA course, I would still suggest you to go for professional training, because whatever is taught in the college is more at a book level or at a concept
Yeah.
level. It is not going to be useful for the industry as is. That's why getting
Yeah.
a professional training would help you to think about that business analysis from the industry perspective. So that is the change you'll observe. So you don't need to
For
repent
sure,
that you
sir.
haven't done business analyst course in your PG. That is not at all needed. Even if you have done it or not done it, you still need to take professional training.
Yeah, because sir, frankly speaking, I'm very much keenly interested in this thing, like business analyst, because I
Mhm.
think that I can do it. So that's why.
Okay, great. There was one more question that was raised. Sukumari, hi sir, I'm in grade 11. I know the Python program language. Is it possible to get an entry level job in grade 12? I am afraid it's not possible because, as I told just in the beginning of this webinar, um, the minimum uh, education that any IT jobs employers look for is your graduation. So if you have finished grade 11, but if you are planning to come to grade 12, trying for an entry level job in IT might be very difficult to get unless you're very lucky. Um, you need to wait till your undergrad is completed, get your bachelor's degree, whether it's 1 year or 2 years or 3 years or 4 years. Get some bachelor's degree on your hand, and that makes you eligible for applying for IT roles.
Sir, is it possible that I can do any volunteer position, sir?
Volunteer positions, yes, you can approach for some of the companies in your network or in LinkedIn, and you can prepare a very beautiful resume. My son is also in grade 10, so I have taught him how to prepare a very powerful resume. So he prepared one. He is also applying for volunteering positions for his credits. So I think you need to do the same. Getting internship or volunteering is definitely possible whether you're in grade 10 or 11 or 12. So give it a try, but the prerequisite for that is you need to get a very good resume done.
Okay, sir, thank you.
Any other questions from anybody?
Hi, sir. I have a
Yeah, Rohit.
I have 6 months of experience working as a manual test engineer in Canada. So I
Mm-hmm.
would treat myself as a non-IT experienced person. My question is,
Mm-hmm.
I want to transfer my role into uh, a low code and career proof job. I want your suggestion on that.
So you said you're already working from the past 6 months as a QA, right?
Yes.
So in the current job, you feel that there is a lot of coding, but you wanted to shift to something where there is very less coding. Is that right?
Uh, Currently, I'm manual test engineer. I don't have many coding problem like tasks.
Mm-hmm.
I want to. I'm a little confused at that at this state. I want to transfer to a new job where I can get trained in next 2 or 3 months, as less time as possible, and invest time, and get into something, uh, yeah, which pays more and also which has a good future.
Yeah, I covered this point in one of the previous webinars, but I will touch base on that quite short. See, in IT, coding is inevitable. For any IT role, you need to do coding either directly or indirectly. So you cannot escape coding 100%. The
Mhm.
only thing is whether it is a very high coding or a minimal coding or a medium coding. So when you ask me the question less coding, so I mean minimal coding. So some of the roles which have minimal coding are number one, cloud engineer, number
Mhm.
two, data analyst, number three, data engineer, number four, DevOps engineer, number five, cybersecurity engineer. And there are also some functional roles like Salesforce administrator, and uh, business analyst, where you will have a minimal coding again. So all these roles you can explore if you wanted to shift from QA to any other IT role. But all the roles which I have mentioned to you just now, they have zero to minimal coding.
Okay, sir. I'm just writing it down. Okay, so Salesforce administrator and business analyst. So,
Salesforce
okay,
administrator, business analyst, data analyst,
data
data
engineer.
engineer, cloud engineer, DevOps engineer, cybersecurity engineer.
Right, sir. For any of these, with where it requires a prerequisite, like I need to have, or my current exposure to IT would helpful for pursuing any of it.
Well, to do any one of these, you don't need any prerequisite. All you need to do is identify, pick up one of them and get trained in them. That's it. Professionally trained. But since you are a QA, the nearest one for you to go for is DevOps.
Okay, sir. DevOps.
Yeah. There was one.
So relatively, it will have a good market. Like I can pursue good opportunities in DevOps, sir.
Yes, DevOps is currently booming. So you have very good opportunities in DevOps, and you also have a very good pay in DevOps compared to QA. At least for the next 5 years, DevOps is going to be dominating the industry, provided you are trained very well on that.
Okay, sir.
There was one more question raised. Do you consult in resume, CV building, and LinkedIn building? Yes, I do, but I don't consult only in resume or CV building. I am more of an expert in mentoring a candidate from zero to a hero, meaning from something where he is not having any knowledge till the time he get the job. But I will not be doing the middle small activities like resume building and LinkedIn building alone. I'll be doing the career coaching for the candidate from scratch. In Canada, for QA testing, which is more demand? Is it manual testing or automation testing? Okay. See, demand wise, every QA role in Canada expects the QA to have both manual testing experience and also automation testing experience. So if you have only manual testing knowledge or experience, then the probability of you getting a job in QA will be very less. You will be only confined to only those jobs which ask for manual testing. But if you have experience in both manual and automation, then you will be fit for any QA role. So my advice is for you is to go for both manual QA and automation QA. So if it is automation, then what tools you need to learn is the question. You need to learn Selenium, okay, with Google Chrome WebDriver, either on C Sharp or on Java. You should be learning again Selenium based. If you use Java, then you need to learn TestNG for a framework. If you use C Sharp .NET, then you can use Cucumber. Okay, and you need to learn about Postman and API testing concepts. You need to learn about SOAP UI and JMeter, mostly for load testing and performance testing. And you also need to learn some of the agile tools like Jira and Confluence as well. And if you have any experience in test case management tools like TFS or HPALM, then it is going to be an added advantage. Okay, so but my suggestion would be go for both manual and automation. And in automation, learn Selenium with Chrome WebDriver on using Java or .NET. Go for Cucumber or TestNG, SOAP UI, JMeter, Postman. Does that answer your question, Lavanya? I think you have mic issues. Mm, Shakti, do you have any coaching for business analyst too? Yes, there are training sessions happening for business analyst. In fact, very recently, I think last Thursday, the last session for business analyst course has been completed. So fresh batch is also starting. Um, Another question by Shraddha. Do you also have employer tie-ups to get the job after completion of a course? No, we don't have any employer tie-ups. But what we typically do is when once the candidate is well trained, we train them further on how to talk to the recruiters, how to talk to the HRs for each type of question that they pose. What is the appropriate answer that you should be giving? So we'll give 2 months of rigorous training on that. And on behalf of the candidate, we'll be applying for jobs in the job sites like LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Monster.ca, Indeed.ca, and so many other jobs, other job sites. And on behalf of you, we'll be applying. So we don't have any company tie-ups where we can directly call the company and say, hey, we have a candidate, please hire him. We don't have any such kind of a setup. We just apply on behalf of you to all the companies. When we apply, we'll get calls. And when we'll get calls, we'll train you how to answer those calls effectively, and then how to get the interviews from those calls, and then how to prepare for that interview, and you will get the job. So no tie-ups. Um, let's take another question. As a developer, should I prepare for any cloud computing? If you are a developer, depending on which developer you are, if you are a .NET developer, yes, learn Azure. If you are a Java developer, learn AWS. They are going to be definitely be helpful for you as a developer, because as a software developer, you're expected to deploy the code into this cloud infrastructure, be it AWS or Azure. So now having knowledge on the cloud computing will definitely become an asset for you. Lavanya, do you have any coaching for QA testing? What is the free fee structure? If yes, what is the course duration? Yes, we do offer coaching and training for QA testing, which covers both manual and also automation. Fee structure we can discuss if you schedule the call. It is going to be standard fees anyways. Course duration is always 2 months for any IT role. Yeah, Shakti?
Sir, for business analysts as well, the course duration is 2 months, right?
Yeah. For any IT role, the
Yeah.
course duration is 2 months. And going back to Ashish question, I know Azure DevOps, is it sufficient? No, it is not going to be sufficient. Azure DevOps is just a CI/CD tool. So probably as a developer, you might have logged into Azure DevOps and you're just going through your tickets and running the deployments. But only the knowledge on Azure DevOps is not going to help you become a successful software developer. You still need to learn about the hardcore cloud, whether it is AWS or Azure. Another question, do you provide coaching for full stack developer, .NET plus JavaScript? Yes, we do. Rohit Kiran, for DevOps, is the duration of the course 2 months? If not, how much? Every IT role, the course duration is 2 months only. Whether it is a BA or a DevOps or a cloud engineer or a data analyst or a data engineer, we have designed the training structure in such a way that any technology the candidate can get trained in 2 months. So we probably um, fixed all the trainings to cover in 40 hours, so which will take about 2 months of time, assuming it is 1 hour every day. Do you help in creating portfolio? Yes, generally whoever is the front end developer and a full stack developer who takes mentoring from us, one of the activity we do is by the time his marketing gets started, we get the portfolio of the candidate well built. So we are aware of some tools that are quite helpful in creating a portfolio. Um, so yeah, definitely we'll be able to help you on that if you need us. Oh, repo. Repo, you don't need any help. All you need to do is just go to GitHub and create your account and create an empty project. And under that project, whatever code that you have been practicing hands on, you can just create a project in there and then try to push code there. That is all what the recruiters or the interviewers expect to be shown. So just create a GitHub account and create a repo and start pushing the code, whatever code you have been doing hands-on practice. That's it. That's all enough before we can wind up this session. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. Meanwhile, Ashish has posted a question. Can I show my previous project to interviews? No. Only if the interviewers ask you to show the previous projects, you can show. Otherwise, you just need to put all your projects into your GitHub repository and possibly create a portfolio and add that portfolio link in your resume. That's it. That is what is going to catch their attention. But recruiters and the interviewers might not have time to go through your previous projects unless they feel it is absolutely necessary. I haven't seen anybody asking for any previous projects to be shown in the interviews. We have come to the end of the webinar. Once again, thanks for joining this webinar. I'm sure it might have helped you. If you wanted to um, discuss in detail one-on-one, feel free to schedule a meeting with me and we'll be able to talk in detail. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a happy weekend.